All my family were really hunters, eh? My dad's family and my mom's side too. The Perantos, the Nabesses, that they really liked hunting, and they all had big families, so they had to feed them somehow.
The tradition of going out and getting a moose and supporting your family, providing for your family and your families, the harvesting of the fish and the duck hunts.
Since I moved to Cormorant, that's what I look forward to every fall, to go out there and be out there with my brother.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm home.
Oh, come on in. Sit down here and read our list.
I've been hunting with my brother Fred for about 42 years.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah, that's our grocery order.
Yeah.
Grocery list. Yeah, I've been hunting since I was 13 years old with my two brothers. It was Rupert and Louis. Rupert was by himself. So he taught me how to hunt, how to skin moose, things like that. And he taught me how to call moose, like taught me how the moose were, where they were.
I remember the earliest times traveling in a canoe with my grandfather, Fred Mercredi from Thicket Portage. I remember sitting in the bottom of a boat, a canoe, and them shooting ducks. You know, those are some of my earliest times that I can recall.
First memories were when my boys were small. I was 17 years old. I started hunting in Thicket Portage with my husband.
And when people come to see Mum in Cormorant or whatever, they say, "Oh, Gladys, yeah, hey, Gladys, I hear there's no more moose in Cormorant because I hear you are shooting them all yourself." So, I mean, she's a very well-known person up north here. She's 78 years old. She's been telling me now for 10 years, "Last day, that's the last year, son, last year." Yeah, how many more years, Ma?
If I have a chance, okay, let me shoot it.
Yeah, I'll let you shoot it.
When my dad was alive, he used to take the families out, like I said, by boat. And there was no other way. They had to paddle too, to go and try and get their fish and moose meat or whatever, so they can have it for their kids for the winter.
You'd go down the river system and you'd see camps all over, you know. Like you go down around this corner here, and there was somebody camped over there. You go around that corner, somebody camped over there.
Most of the people in Cormorant had ice houses because there was no freezers. So they had ice houses and sawdust, and that's where they kept their meat and their ducks or their fish. It was very hard times then for big families. It's in the blood, really, because all my family, they're all hunters. All my children, all my uncles and all the relatives, in fact. I'm 78 years old, and I still plan on going out on a moose hunt, even though I'm not too much help out there, but I just love being out there.
We go to Moose Lake because Moose Lake is a grade A lake, meaning that it's the fish in that lake is the best fish around that you could have.
We usually go to the same bay that my brother Fred always hunted at. So we named it Fred's Bay.
I've killed about 15 moose in Fred's Bay, and it's been good to me ever since.
You stay away from the shore and the moose can't smell you because it's a really deep bay. And then when they come, they just come towards you, that's it.
Moose come in from all directions, not only one spot. They can hear me whenever I'm calling, and they come in, and they come right exactly where I am.
You can see a long ways, you can see the moose coming without them seeing you or hearing you. Liam, as a hunter, obviously scouted that area well.
We go to stores and we get our supplies, get our gas, pack up our tents and blankets, and kind of whatever we need to take out. Flour is my main thing, and baking powder and lard. Whatever else we could take, sugar and tea, coffee, milk, whatever person needs out in the camp.
We usually go about a week before moose hunting starts, that we can get everything prepared.
Gas is very heavy. You buy 10, 12 jerry cans, 5 gallons in each can. What we do is we take them from Cormorant, we take our empty boats and we go and stash them near the places where we're going to go and hunt. My mother, Gladys's role is very important. She's kind of like the glue that holds everything together here at this point. Has been like that for a long time.
Main role in camp is cooking, cleaning. I like a clean camp.
Gizzard. Huh? That's
I usually fix everything up in camp, cut wood, get water, get the boats ready for going out, all your equipment. There's no fish out there, they're right back in the bush.
The role that I played during the moose hunt, I listened to what my uncle has told me, has taught me about the moose hunt. We look at the area and we say, okay, Randy, if he's coming from the front of the boat, and the front of the boat is over there, you're going to have to get the first shot. So if he comes out from that side, Randy, he's your moose. He comes out of the back here, he's mine. But if he's in the middle, then we both shoot him. He plans the trip, plans where we're going to go. He scouts, he knows the area very well. So what he says goes.
It's very important to keep the group fed. Very important, because I cook the meal and then everybody eats together, and everybody else helps with the kitchen work too.
At this point, this is where you're gonna have your bannock, son.
Knives, files, axe, saw, and tarps to put your meat on after you skin it. Yeah, so your meat is really, really clean.
The first gun I used was a 303 British. Got that from my brother.
Winches are good too. They're a lot of help.
I take this winch, this electric winch I got. I have to use it to pull up the boat. Make it so heavy. It's like a mesh. It's like a little mesh, and it's you know, like a screen. It looks like a screen. It's built like a screen, but it's made of cloth, and you wrap it around the moose, and you tie it up and keeps stuff out and firms up your meat. It keeps it shape.
They probably just pull these out after they put them in the boat and just leave these here.
Yeah.
We'll put them over the legs, whatever you can meat, and so the flies don't get at it, and your meat is clean. Sometimes there's a lot of sand and stuff like that where you shoot your moose and skin it, and these moose bags really keep your meat clean. Okay, you can bring it around to me.
Make sure that your boat is safe. You make sure you got your life preservers on hand at all times. The paddles, you know, you may have to paddle at some point.
Make sure everything is sharp. The knives are sharp. Axes. Make sure you got a lot of wood in camp. Lots of water.
You know, you can't go swimming by yourself even, because the water is very cold already. You can't play around with guns.
Never have a live round in the chamber and putting it down and leaving it. That's where accidents happen. Weather is a huge issue when you're out hunting. Weather like this, it's calm, is great for hunting in the fall. But when you have that wind blowing at 30 kilometers an hour, I tell you, out in Moose Lake, we've experienced winds that are very light on one end of the lake, but when you're at the other end, that wind picks up as it going down 20 kilometers of nothing to stop it. And you know, those waves are like 5-10 feet by the time you hit the other end of the lake.
So where are we off to, Dad?
We're going to go and lift their whitefish net. Hopefully we'll get a batch. Alrighty.
We like whitefish.
That's whitefish, look at that. Beautiful Moose Lake whitefish.
We like smoking it and filleting it.
Hey, look at that jumbo, eh? Nice one, yeah. That's nice jumbo. That's a jumbo. We've got a jumbo whitefish here. See, that's a jumbo whitefish. Nice.
It's so hard to get good fish in some lakes, but this fish that we got in Moose Lake are A1 fish.
Oh, look at that place.
Somebody might need help.
Since you ever do that big jackfish chunk?
Well, you got to scale them, especially whitefish, and then you got to cut them in the back to make sort of like a slab, you know, and cut the bones out and just throw them over the smoker.
Putting that. It's cutting already.
Why do you guys like whitefish so much?
Well, there's a good taste to it, and it's good for, there's no fat in it. It's wild, just like moose meat. That's good for a person too. But you can fry it, you can boil it, you can roast it. Any way you like it.
What did you say from the fish?
They save everything except the guts, even the livers. But we're going to fry the liver for supper. We'll wash them real good and fry it in onion. And then you're going to have a good feed.
Yeah, you must feel for that too, eh, Gran?
You do feel for the
Yeah,
bones.
me, I'd just be like, ah, shit. But no, give me a...
Some boneless jack. That's why people don't eat jackfish. They say, ah, it's my bone.
But that's yeah.
There's a piece in here
Mom
too.
says she'll keep the bones in, but she'll grind
Bones
it
in here.
twice.
Oh, you do, yeah.
We go to Moose Lake because the fish are very healthy there. And it's important for us to have healthy fish so we can have healthy bodies, right? So, and we have nice fish, big fish, you know, we have a lot of it. It'll last 5 or 6 families all winter. How about him?
We hung up the whitefish after they were scraped and washed out really good.
Okay, as long as you can just get him into the winter.
My son, my grandchildren, my brother, they all put nails across from tree to tree, like a stick that they put nails on, and we just hang the fish on them from the gills here. Yeah, and then they let them dry like that. Should have just tied it on. It's easier to take off.
Same with a nail?
You're the builder.
Okay.
And I usually hang my fish over and smoke them with rotten wood, dry spruce, like rotten spruce. That's the best because then your fish will turn a reddish color. You know, you turn a reddish color, and I usually smoke mine for about 4 or 5 hours, and it's not smoked too much. but the taste is in there.
My brothers taught me how to call moose. We both sat together and taught me how to call. And when he was finished calling, I called, and he said, we both sound the same.
He's the caller. Has been calling many years. He knows what the moose want to hear.
I guess they used to use birch bark, cut birch bark out and make a horn out of it, like they rolled it up or something. And they use that to call moose out. It really sounds like the moose when you call. So that's what I remember my dad using anyway.
I first started a crazy carpet because I didn't like using birch bark. They dry up too fast. Then you have to keep making a moose horn.
I've never ever learned how after all these years, because I was depending on my brother to do it. That's why. Yeah, but I should have learned.
When it's calm, you can hear better. You can hear for a long ways. Everyone has their own way of calling, and everyone will swear by their own calls. I've seen Uncle's calls, and I've seen his technique, and it works every time.
Stay off the shore, away from the shore, because this moose can smell you. Hardly ever go on to land to hunt moose.
When you're going to go and call, you got to wait till it's kind of calm.
Sometimes you can't even move because the moose has such a sense of they can hear everything.
Sometimes you'll have bad weather, and then you'll have to go back to the camp till maybe the next day or two, till it calms down again.
Towards the end of September is the best time. But we usually go out earlier to make our camp.
You got to get the knives, which you pre-sharpened. We have about a dozen of those. Axes, meat saw, tarps to make sure the moose is nice and clean when we transport it. Cable. We need to winch the moose up onto dry land because it's partially in the water. Just a lot of things that we need to, like I said, keeping the meat clean is what we need to do at all times. Okay, can't contaminate it in any way. It's not so much what goes through your mind, but what your body starts to do. I mean, I've heard a moose call so many times, but then you start to shake, and you start to tremble, and you try to be quiet. You think your legs are banging on the boat, you know, you're trying to be quiet, and you can feel your hands and your heart is going, and it's just the adrenaline rush is something you cannot experience until you're right there. You know, I could talk about it, and you could have some sort of sense of what that's about, but the hunt is the most exciting part of going out to a moose camp. And you just don't forget that.
Right there, look.
Ooh, that's a nice bull. Look at his horns.
Shot him in the belly.
Nice little bull,
Ooh,
eh?
that's nice. How the hell are we going to get him on here now? We get him a couple times.
Yeah, we'll have to leave him tonight, eh?
We'll leave him tonight. And then we're going to go in and do the moose, bring the moose back after we've skinned and gutted it, hang it up here for a couple of days and do what we need to do on camp. Maybe go out and try to get another bull tonight.
My first moose lake rack.
How did you feel about it in the bush there last night? What did you like about it?
Good little adrenaline there, especially when Uncle calls for him and it's coming back and then just grunts. I like how it walks out of that bush. And then that big snort was pretty good. And then I seen rack and then I sighted in and waited for the guys to shoot and I let my shot go. So that was fun. So it was fun. Yeah.
Sounds are good when you moose starts calling back in the bush. And when you're ready for it to come down. And just wait him out.
And you couldn't see it very good because of the willows and stuff. But we got that moose, and it wasn't a huge moose. It was about maybe 3 years old. The rack wasn't very big, and that's how you could tell how old the moose was. And as far as size goes, he was probably maybe 1,000 pounds.
Sandy, how did you like that moose being shot last night?
That was very awesome to see. The calling and the moose coming through the bush, cracking twigs at his antlers. It was really awesome. Now it's skinning time.
But then that's when our work really started, hunting, and after hunting, and we had to skin it and pack it, hang it, and clean it like there was some leaves or whatever was on it, because we like our moose meat really nice and clean.
There were enough people there to harvest the moose at that point. You know, a couple of people grabbed the legs, and even 1,000 pounds that they come along was a little bit of work, putting them right on shore, and then.
Quarter? Put the rest of that in there.
My buddies can eat their heart out now.
You're gonna brag, eh, my boy?
Everybody enjoying it and just talking and having fun and loading up the moose and just being together again and just harvesting your moose.
I hold the legs for them, and I cut too. I skin it too. I try to help it every which way I can.
You cut down the cavity here, and you skin it, and then you take out the innards, and ribs and the windpipe and the whole thing, and.
in the water here. Oh. You want to hear that? What happened there? I've got to be careful.
And you take it back to camp and you hang it for a few days to cure it. Come with me and help me first. Yeah. Good. All right. Knife. You need a knife. It's important to cure it because it tenderizes it. It tenderizes a bit more, you know. It makes it firm, you know. It's nice, you know. You get rid of all the excess blood, all that kind of stuff. Got it? Yeah. Put it inside the ribs there. Get that. Give me that hook and bring it over here.
Well, moose meat is very good because it's best to have wild stuff to eat instead of buying it from the farm or whatever.
The neck of a moose is about this big, and most people throw it away. We take the moose, give it to Mom, to cut off all the meat on it, to can that up, make hamburger out of it.
What is that one, Grandma?
From the pieces from the neck, off of the bone. We fried up with onion later on, and that's cooked. I think it's the ribs. I like the ribs, most ribs. Either you can boil them or you can roast them.
I have no idea why old people like the tongue. It's good to get a tongue earlier in the rut. I've eaten the tongue, and it's got a different texture to it, and it's very good. Tradition, moose meat and pancakes.
We were having moose meat and pancakes this morning. Pancakes with moose meat? I couldn't believe it. Yeah, till they ate it. Then they said, well, we got to have some of this when we kill our moose. Yeah.
All right, watch these three, Mom. You want them?
Yes, you know I'm not ready.
Don, here.
This is what we have every time we get a moose. Next morning, that's what we have. It's a tradition for us. We have to do that because it's just what we do.
A tradition after each hunt. That's what you call it. Good morning, buddy.
This is nature's garden here. You can eat the roots of these things here, just all the stuff along the river. And very nutritional. Moose eat this stuff. It's all natural. Maybe that's why people out here live a lot longer than people do in the cities. This is pristine, beautiful area, you know, and we need to keep it that way. And the animals in this area also, they need to be here for future generations.
What's the wave like?
Families come in once in a while and like they're traveling around and can check on us, what we're doing, and make sure we're in camp and we're not lost or things like that.
Everybody shares, and everybody gets the equal amount.
Even when they're not hunting, they live a city block from each other. You know, always visiting each other, talking on the phone, going places, you know, doing things together, celebrations.
See what I mean? Spread these out after.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta tie them.
Your smokehouse is different, right?
Yeah, I know. But this is the good way because you can study it out after this.
The younger people should take on the hunting and fishing, whatever, for the future, for their families, because sometimes you're not going to have anything to show them. If you're too old, you can't do nothing. You can't show them nothing. But if you're able to go out and do this thing, good. Be good for the children.
Might work good. You know, you got to figure a lot of things out by yourself when you're out in moose. They will teach you, and not teach you too many times, because if you can't learn fast, then they can't keep teaching you over and over and over again. You need to learn fast and figure things out for yourself.
Very happy to have my grandchildren hunting with me and my family. That's the most important thing.
I hope my grandchildren can continue my tradition after I'm gone.
Over the years, I've learned a lot from my mother and my Uncle Fred. Knowledge that I probably will be passing on to nephews and whoever wants to come out to the moose camp. You know, my mother's been hunting for 40-some years. My Uncle Fred's been hunting for a little bit longer than that. And they have a lot of knowledge to pass on to the family and to whoever wants to come and learn about moose hunting.
Very important for me to hunt with my family, to have moose meat for them, so that they can show their kids too what hunting is all about.
This is where my grandpa and his mom and his Uncle Fred and Uncle Ernie and everybody in our family did their hunting, and we're still doing that thanks to these people here. This is our land. This is where we belong. This is our tradition and our culture, and continue to do all of those kinds of things with your families. And keep it alive, because this wilderness is here for you to enjoy and to keep.
It will always have a special place in my heart. Moose hunting with my family. That's very important to me.
What's left to do here?
Well, we got to take the camp down and put stuff away that we're going to leave here for next fall, and take the rest home. We're going to cut meat and put it away, and the fish. Hopefully there'll be enough helping. Sean, this is the neck from that big bull we got the other day. It must be about 20, 30, about 40 pounds, eh? This neck. About at least 40 pounds.